Good morning, beautiful yogis, and thank you for practicing with me. Today we're going to navigate our way through some of the warrior series. And warrior is really a pose that I think everyone could do with at the moment. That pose of strength, that power within ourselves that sometimes we find it very hard to recognise at a time that we are at home, at a time that we're learning to navigate different roles in life. And maybe we are doing some homeschooling with our kids, or maybe we're starting a new business or trying to continue the business that we once had. It doesn't matter. Coming back to standing in your warrior, in your strength, in your power poses are a way to really make sure your feet are firmly grounded and you feel grounded in life amongst the current that comes in. So I look forward to practicing with you today, and I will see you on the mat. So welcome to the practice. Come to a kneeling position on the front of your mat. Get a block, a book, a bolster or a pillow. If you have any tightness through this thigh area or any discomfort, or you just fancy sitting upright a little bit more. Close down the eyes and just rest your hands in a very comfortable position on your thighs. Palms can be facing up or down. And taking some nice deep breaths, try and pull the breath from the belly all the way up through the chest, all the way up through the collarbones. And then exhale the breath in your own time all the way down to the belly again. Keep breathing and notice how fast you drop into stillness. Notice when the breath is our anchor, we can still the mind and come back very quickly into presence. And I'd like you to think of a time in your life that you were really, really strong. A time that you did something and you felt like you really came into your power. Now, maybe this was having a child, or maybe this was watching your child grow up, or maybe this was a new job. But whatever it is, sit with that emotion. So often we think about the things that are not going to plan or have not gone to plan, and we forget about the things that have. So let that feeling grow. Feel the strength, and if you find this very hard, imagine a person who loves you unconditionally and imagine how proud they are of you. So breathe into this feeling and let the emotion grow and grow and grow. Until it feels so big in your chest, you literally want to burst. And then let the emotion have a colour. And then expand all the way out of your head and all the way surrounding your body. And just rest in that presence, that growth. And when you're ready, open up the eyes. So no matter how big or small that feeling was, to move those emotions and to move those feelings, the power that we have inside ourselves is the same power we have in every situation, be it good or be it bad. We're standing or sitting or kneeling or laying in the same spot within our power. So, taking some more inhales, we're going to put our hands next to the body and just inhale them all the way up, palms facing in, and just leaving them here. Roll your shoulders down your back and breathe. Drop the right hand down to the floor and lean the left arm now all the way over the body as you exhale. Inhale, coming back, dropping the left arm down, and we're going to pick the right arm right the way up and over. Coming up, and let's bring both arms back up to the sky. Then opening the hands, let's clasp the hands behind our body and pull the hands down the buttocks, lifting the chest all the way up. And if this does not upset your balance or your back, just rolling forward very gently, keeping the back as straight as you can. And if you just come to here, that's fine. If you can come down lower or put your head on the floor, you can bring your arms all the way up and relax. Using your arms now to pull yourself back. Roll up. And now remove the block. Coming to the side angle of your mat, just open your feet a little bit wider than hip distance apart. So I'd like you to inhale your arms all the way up, and exhale, we're going to go to the right as our left hand goes down our left leg. So exhale over. And when you get to the spot you can't go any further, just stop. Take the left hand, put it behind your head, and just pull the left elbow back a little bit. And if you can turn your body up towards the sky, just breathe into this area, opening up the back body. And then turn back to the front, lifting the arm all the way up and coming back up. And now we're going to go on the other side. So bringing your right hand all the way up, coming down the leg, and then elbow bends, and lifting the chest. And feel your feet when you're in this pose. Push the side edges of your feet a little bit more into the mat. And then bring your hand up and come all the way up. Beautiful. And standing up nice and straight, and just turning over to the left side of the room. Hands can come around the waist. And then turning, changing the hands, one at the back, one at the front, and turning to the right. So just gently waking up the body. And now turning to the front of the mat, come and stand in Tadasana. So pick up the toes and place them down one by one on the mat, lifting up the kneecaps, rolling in the thighs, and pulling the buttocks in as we pull energy up through the torso. Remember the string at the top of our head that's holding us up, and we're going to roll the shoulders up, back and down. Stand in Tadasana and feel your feet very firmly push into the ground. Make sure you can feel all four corners of your feet. So there's not one side of your foot that's pushing in more. Inhaling, the arms come all the way up, and exhaling, coming into our first forward fold. So Uttanasana, keep a bend to your knees to ease your transition, and if you want to put a block on the floor in front of you, or just hanging forward, however low you go, just make sure your feet are still pushing into the mat. Ardha Uttanasana, hands onto the calves, pushing out to the distance, keeping the back nice and flat. And Uttanasana, coming in, forward fold. If you want to, there's an option to put your hands behind your calves and just pull yourself very gently forward. A little bit more. And breathe into this area. Now bend of the knees, brings both hands onto the floor, and take your left hand and put it in the middle of your mat. And you're going to straighten the left leg, keeping the right leg very bent. So inhaling, let's lift the right arm all the way out to the side, and you can stay here, or you can lift the arm a little bit higher and turn the head to the side wall. Exhaling, arm comes down, and let's change hands. So put the right hand in the middle of your feet, bending into your knees, and straightening now your right leg, really bending into the left leg. Inhaling, left arm out. If you want to go further, then turning towards the side wall and lifting the arm a little bit higher. And then coming down. And just hanging out here in Uttanasana, bend of the knees, and we're going to reverse swan dive all the way back up. Hands come through the heart and right down the side of the body to Tadasana. Now it's very common to have a little bit of a wobble and energy coming through to your standing poses, and I will show you what I mean in warrior, because my hands always shake. That energy that we pull from the floor into our poses is really strong, so go with it. So inhaling, arms come up. We'll do a few Surya Namaskars, salutes to the sun. Exhaling, let's swan dive all the way down to the mat, and straight away let's step back, right foot and then left foot into our high plank. So heels pushing towards the back of the room and the top of the head pushing and surging forward. So we're going to drop our knees, chest and chin now to the floor. And set up for Cobra. So tops of the feet pushing into the back of the mat, pubic bone pushing into the floor as we inhale, lifting up. Exhale, coming down, and we'll meet in child's pose. So pushing the hands back, buttocks goes to the heels, and arms reach out in extended child's. A couple of breaths here into the back body. And then pulling up to tabletop. Aligning wrists under shoulders, knees under hips, and doing a couple of cat-cows to open up the back. So inhaling, dropping the belly, lifting the chest, pulling the heart forward to the front of the room, and exhaling, curving the spine, curling into yourself, into cat. So roll through a couple of cat-cows. And then turn the movement into a few bendy cat-cows. Just moving with the body. Just getting into all those areas that may have a little bit of tightness to them. Opening up the back. And then come to still. Hook the toes at the back. And you're going to inhale the knees off the floor into downward facing dog. So inhaling, knees off the floor, push your hands away from your body. Tailbone reaches up to the sky. Keep a soft bend in your knees and make your first A-frame for the day. Now immediately pick up one heel and the other and let's walk out our dog. While you're walking out your dog, just look forward to your fingers. Are they spread open? Is the middle finger facing the front of the room? Is the head relaxed? And then inhale, everybody come up onto your toes and then push with the heels back. And as your chest yearns towards the floor. Bend of the knees, and we're going to walk all the way to our hands and hang out in Uttanasana, forward fold, bending straight into the knees, swan diving all the way up on the inhale. Exhale brings the hands through your heart. And flowing once more, inhaling, lifting the arms, exhaling, swan diving all the way down. Ardha Uttanasana, looking out to the distance, pushing through with a flat back and then bringing yourself all the way down, stepping back, this time left foot, then right foot into plank. Bringing the knees straight down, knees, chest, chin, and pushing on the next inhale up to Cobra. And then coming down. Pushing back into child's pose. Big toes touch. And then inhaling all the way up into tabletop. Hook the toes at the back of the mat and lift up now into downward facing dog. I'd like you to put your left foot a little bit closer to the right foot. And then you're going to inhale the right foot all the way up, as high as you can go, and you'll notice that your hips are going to start to open. And now it doesn't matter how high you are, but you want a nice open hip. And then you're going to bend the lifted knee like you're trying to tap your left shoulder with your right toe. Now with your gaze, look up and under your right arm. Just push into both ends evenly, and then bring your foot all the way to the back of the mat again. Even up the hips and place your right foot back down next to your left. And now you're going to bend into the left foot and lift the left foot all the way up. So far up that the hip is going to open. If you want to come further, bend into the left foot. Your left foot is trying to tap your right shoulder, and then bring your gaze under your left armpit. And you should feel a beautiful opening all the way through from the tip of your toe to the tip of your fingertips. And then straightening up the left leg, bring it back down
Bend into the knees straight away and no breath needed to step forward. Exhale into forward fold. Bend into the legs and lift yourself all the way back up. Hands come through heart. And back down to the side. And turning to the side of your mat now, I'd love you to open your legs. So take a really nice, big, open, wide stance, but don't go into a splits position. And looking at your feet, you want the side edges of your feet parallel to your mat. So to do that, you're going to bring your toes very slightly in, so you may feel a little bit pigeon-toed. Bringing the head up, what I'd like you to do is look to your left foot and just point the toes now to the front of the mat. So your left toe is pointing forward, but your right foot is still facing the side edge of the mat. Take your hands on your hips and just rotate your hips around so your hips are still facing the very front. So when we set up for Warrior Two, we're going to push energy out into both feet, almost like we're trying to tear the mat apart. So with the side edge of our right foot, we're pushing out this way, and with our front toe, we're pushing out this way. Keeping the hips always facing the side angle of the room. We're going to bend into the left knee. Now when you bend into the left knee, a lot of the time the leg or the thigh will roll forward. Roll that thigh back, and you can take your hand and use your hand to help the thigh roll all the way back. So you want your knee trekking over your foot, not trekking to the side. Now leaning down and letting the knee come into more of a 90-degree angle. Make sure you can clearly see your big toe and your second toe. So if you've come too far forward, just pull yourself back up. Check into the hips so your hips still facing the side angle of the room. Looking down, can you draw a straight line from your heel all the way to your arch of your back foot? And if you can't, wriggle your front foot so you're in that alignment. So a heel to arch alignment, bringing the knee down, checking into the hips, lifting the hands out to the side. So you want to check that both hands feel the same and they're both stretching and reaching out to the side. If your arms are feeling quite heavy, just roll the wrists over and then relax into Warrior Two. Turn your head to the front of the mat and stand strong in your warrior. So pushing into the front foot, rolling into the back foot, opening up the thighs, and just breathing. Feeling your power. And if your legs are shaking or your arms are shaking or your fingers are shaking, that's absolutely fine. Flick the energy out of them and relax. Now I'm going to get you to take your right hand, put it down the back of your back leg, flip your front hand over so your palm is facing the sky, and then slowly bring your back hand down the back leg as your top hand paints the sky. Now this is a side bend, not a back bend. So if you're back bending forward, roll a little bit more to the front. Very peaceful warrior. Balancing on your feet, pushing that energy in 2 different directions, and then inhaling, pushing through the front leg to bring you all the way up, and then bending that front leg once again into warrior. This time we're going to drop the front hand onto the front knee, and we're going to set up for Parsvakonasana, our supported side angle. So taking the back hand and reaching it all the way up, you can stay here or you can bring it all the way forward. Now open the chest. If your neck feels okay, you can look up. If not, just stay looking at the ground. Push the energy through the feet and just breathe. Bring the front arm all the way back. We're going to put our hand on our hip, and almost like you're pulling your hip up, like straighten the front leg, and then bend all the way back down into Virabhadrasana 2, Warrior 2 once more. Straightening the front leg now, dropping the arms, and then turning the front foot all the way back, parallel to the mat once more. So we're going to take it on the other side now. So keeping your left foot facing the side of the mat, turning the right foot all the way to face the front, and just checking out your heel to arch alignment. So I need to move my back foot forward a little bit, keeping the hips facing the front of the room, and bringing the hands all the way out, maybe relaxing with the palms open, and then just turning them back around so they're nice and relaxed. Bending into the front knee and pulling the thigh open towards the back wall as you lean down, making sure you can still see your first toe and your second toe. And if your hips are still facing the side, then turn your gaze to the front and look over your middle finger. Breathe into Warrior 2 on this side. Now going straight into Peaceful Warrior, dropping the left hand down to the back of the left thigh and lifting the right arm up on the inhale, bending a little bit more into that front leg. Going to go Peaceful Warrior. And then inhaling to come up, and then bending straight back into our Warrior 2. So drop now the right hand to the front knee, and then bring the back arm all the way up. Hand goes over the head. And we're going to open up now into side angle. And if this arm doesn't feel comfortable, then please just leave it straight up. Comfort is key. If a pose is not working out for you or not feeling very good in your body, then just bend into it a little bit more. Pull back. Give yourself that room to breathe and to grow. Because you can always come down a little bit further the next day. So inhaling, coming back up to Warrior 2. And then inhale your way all the way back up to the side edge of the mat. Turn both feet now so they're parallel. Take our left foot and we're going to turn it once again to face front edge of the mat, and then take the right foot this time and just turn it in maybe about 10%. Now straight away, look down and see if you have a heel to heel alignment. If you don't, shuffle your back foot forward or your front foot back. So a heel to heel alignment, I can make a straight line from one heel to the next. And this time, instead of leaving my body facing the side, I'm going to turn my body around to face the front of the room. And just feel into both feet as they push into the ground. And you may want to gently bend the legs and then straighten them. So all four corners of both feet pressing into the ground. Now you're going to put your hands on your hips and bend into the front foot. Now look down at your toes and make sure the knee doesn't track over the toes. And take your arms and lift them all the way up, rolling your pinky fingers very gently back towards the back of the room. Bend into the front knee a little bit more and push energy into the back foot and then look up. And you're in Warrior One. So stay here and feel this very strong chest opener. So now we're going to set up for Humble Warrior. So let's drop the arms and clasp them once more behind the hips. And before you do anything else, just pull the left hip back and push the right hip forward. And gently come forward with a flat back. Keep the bend in the front knee. Now, if this feels good for you, you can just stay here, looking at your toe. Or if you'd like to come a little bit more, you can put the left shoulder on the inside of the left knee and come down lower. If you'd like to come down that a little bit further, then bring your head towards the mat, lifting the arms up into a Humble Warrior. From Humble Warrior, I want you to straight away, wherever you are, drop your hands to frame your left foot, pivot up on your right toes, and drop the right knee all the way down to the ground. Press through into a lunge. Walk the hands back, and we're setting up for half splits by lifting the left toes and with a straight back coming down into Ardha Hanumanasana. While you're breathing in this pose, concentrate on lifting the right hip a little bit more and lowering the left hip until you come to that place that you can breathe into. And the more spaces that we find in our body to breathe into that on a day-to-day basis we hardly ever notice, the more oxygen we can bring through the blood into those areas and help prevent injuries. So bending the front leg and putting the hands down, we set up for plank. Lifting the back knee off the ground, swing the left foot all the way around to meet the right into plank and lower yourself very gently down to the ground, elbows tracking back. When you're on the ground, go straight up into your cobra pose. Inhaling, pushing the pubic bone into the floor, bringing the chest nice and open. And exhaling, coming down, going from child's pose into downward facing dog, or hooking the toes on the mat and pushing yourself up through plank. Rolling over the toes and meeting in downward facing dog. Now move about in your downward dog until you get into a place of comfort. So lift your hands, lift your hips, roll your shoulders down your back, and then relax into this pose. And take some nice deep breaths. Bend into the knees, look to the front of the mat, and walk, step, or try a little hop, bending the knees and jumping forward to the front of the mat. Roll in the head, bend of the knees, and swan dive all the way up and back through to Tadasana. Now turn to face the side edge of the mat again, and let's spread our legs nice and wide. Once more, and we're going to go to the opposite side. So with the right foot this time, lift the foot and turn it to face the front. And I'll just move my block forward a little bit. And with the back foot, lift the toes and turn it in maybe about 10 degrees. Make sure you've got heel to heel alignment, and if you don't, shuffle your feet into the position that you do. When your feet can form a straight line from heel to heel, then you can turn your torso all the way to face the front. Bend into the front knee, making sure you can see those toes. And before you lift your hands, press into the back line of the back foot and find your balance. Inhaling the arms all the way up, and you're back in Warrior One. Take your hands this time and interlace them with a non-dominant finger in front once more. Stretch your arms down the back, and again you're going to come forward into a humble warrior. Stop wherever feels comfortable for you, or drop your head to the mat with your right shoulder on the inside of your right knee. Straight away, undo your hands and put them next to your right foot. Pivot onto your toes and bring your knee down to the ground into a lunge, and then walk the hands all the way back, setting you up for half splits once more. So lifting up the toes, straightening the back, pulling the left hip forward and the right hip back, and gently relaxing into this very strong stretch. So from here we're going to come through a vinyasa flow where we're going to come up into plank once more, down into cobra pose and meet back in downward facing dog. If you'd like to come with me, bend into the front leg, Place your hands on either side of the foot, lift up the back knee and swing your front foot all the way back around to medium plank. Straight away, you're going to bring yourself down to the mat and set up for cobra pose, pushing up through cobra and then coming all the way back down and meeting back in downward facing dog. I'm going to tuck my toes, come up through plank and roll over the toes into downward dog. A few beautiful breaths to settle you into this pose. And then we're going to crouch back, look forward and either walk, step or jump to the front of the mat. Uttanasana, forward fold. Bend of the knees, inhale the earth away as you come all the way up with your hands into heart. Samastati equals standing. So check into your toes, pushing the feet down into the ground, pulling up with the head. And just for a minute, close down the eyes. Letting the warrior poses that we've practiced today just sink gently into your blueprint. So opening up the eyes once more and either coming to the front of your mat or to the side. Wherever is comfortable to come into tree. So pushing down in tree pose, coming into a Tadasana stance. We're going to lean a little bit more into the right leg and we're going to lift up the left knee, and you can put your ankle just resting on the side of your ankle and keep it here. You can come up to your calf or holding your ankle, you can lift it up and press the foot into the thigh and the thigh into the foot, and it will help with the balance. Bringing the hands into heart and choose to stay here or go a step further by bringing your hands all the way up to the top of your head. Find a point in front of you to stare at, your drishti spot. If you want to go a little bit further, then look up. Now bringing the hands down, place your thumb and your index finger together in Chin Mudra and bring them all the way around and cross your arms at the front. Doing that movement again, we're going to inhale the arms all the way up and exhale them once more down. Place your left hand now on your left knee, palms facing up, and stay here, or inhale the right arm all the way up and all the way over. And then come back and place the foot back on the floor. Stand. Close down the eyes and breathe into the right foot. Now, even if you did a quarter of that balancing today, and that's a perfect place to start. So pressing into the left foot, we're going to lift the right, put the heel onto the ankle, onto the calf, or taking the ankle and pressing the heel of the foot into your thigh, nice and firm, and bringing the hands into heart. You can choose to stay here, or you You can bring the hands all the way up, finding your drishti once more. And if you want to go a little bit further, then just look up. Finding Chin Mudra again, thumbs to index fingers, and bringing your hands all the way down on the exhale, ready to cross through the front line of the body, and bringing them up once more. And coming down. Placing your right hand, palm open on your right knee, and the left arm paints the sky and stretches over. How does it feel on this side? Are you a little bit more wobbly? Or is the balance a little bit better? Coming up and dropping that foot. So no two sides are ever the same. Close down the eyes. Take a deep breath. And let it go out the mouth. And another deep breath. And let it go. Opening up the eyes and making your way onto the mat. So bottom onto the mat, feet in front of you, hold onto the knees, inhale, pull yourself up nice and tall, and exhale, lean back, round in like you're in a cat arch. Inhale, pulling the arms in, seated cow, and exhale, coming into cat once more. And this time, I want you to sit up, so getting ready to come into half boat. We inhale our right foot up, and then inhale the left foot up. Bring the hands straight out, and sit up in your seat. If you want to stay here, perfect. If you're exhausted, drop to the mat. If you'd like to come a little bit further, let's push out into full boat. Exhaling, the legs and the arms come out, and we sit up. And then inhaling into half boat, bringing the legs down, and we'll just place the feet all the way out on the mat in front, sitting up nice and high, pressing into the hands, and then bending the left leg. Bring the left leg over the right leg, stay here, or else take the right foot and curl it underneath your left buttocks. Sitting up nice and tall, left hand goes behind, right hand paints the sky on the inhale, and then exhale, turn into your twist. And it's perfectly okay on the inhales of the twist to turn around a little bit more to face the front, and then exhale to face the back wall. Turning to face the front, just pop your hands behind you and change feet. So bring this time your left foot down to the ground, your right foot can come over your left knee, and the leg can either stay facing forward or you can roll the leg, bring it next to your right buttocks. This time, right hand goes behind you, left hand paints the sky on the inhale, and turn to the left. Your twists are really important for wringing out the digestive organs. If you have any digestive issues, This is a wonderful twist to do every day. Sitting up a little bit straight so it comes more into the belly and less into the upper back. Nice deep breaths. And exhaling brings you all the way back round. We're just going to come down onto the back, scooting forward on your mat if you need to, and just gently making your way down. So keep the feet on the floor, legs parallel, and see if you can tickle the back of your heels with your fingers. You're going to come up into bridge pose. So push the pinky sides of your fingers into the mat. As you inhale, pull the pelvic floor in and roll the body off the mat. Exhale, rolling down, nice and slow. Bring the feet to the edges of the mat and knock your knees to touch. And then straighten out the legs. Bring the feet to the mat once more. Lift the left leg up and put the ankle on top of the right knee. You're going to come into that number 4 pose. So if this is enough for you, you can take your left hand and push down on your leg. Just open and massage into the hip joint. If you want to go a little bit further, lift your right leg off the floor and thread your left arm through the middle, holding on to your right knee. You can rock side to side, feeling into that hip joint. And I like to close my eyes so I can feel into those places that are a little bit tighter. So unclasp your hands and put your feet again to the floor, and then lift your right ankle and put it on top of your left knee and pull the left knee in. You can stay here, or you can thread your arms all the way through to hold on to that right knee. And again, choose to rock. Just gently with your right elbow, push the right knee away. Keep the eyes open or closed. Breathe into your hip joint. Bringing the legs down and the hands out to a T position. Just adjust on your mat and pick the left leg up and cross it over the right leg. Choose to stay here or take your left foot and hook it under your right calf. Inhale and then exhale the legs all the way over to the left. You can keep your gaze straight up, or you can look over to the right. And let the breath go and relax into this pose. Inhaling the legs up. We're going to go to the opposite side now. So bring the left foot down, lift the right foot and cross the legs. And if you want to, hook the foot under the calf. On the exhale, drop the knees over to the right. and choose where you'd like your gaze to be. Inhaling the legs up and making your way into Shavasana. Just pull the knees into the chest, giving one tight squeeze first and then bring the legs down. So setting up for Shavasana, open the legs up to the distance of the mat. Be big in your space. Bring the hands out from the body, palm facing up. Make sure the neck is nice and long on the mat and just shuffle around so you're a little bit more comfortable. Stay lying down on the mat. Relax the body and feel all of the areas on your mat. Feel how heavy your head feels. The torso, the back body. Feel the hips as they sink into the mat. And the toes and the feet. Feel the sensations running through the body. Let your mind feel into the hands, the tingling and the warmth through the palms up to the fingertips. Acknowledging the life that lives inside of you. Feel the warmth through the feet and the toes. And the gentle tingling. Feel as you expand in your space. Feel the life in your face as your eyes gently roll back into your head. Your jaw relaxes and unhinges. The tip of the tongue on the roof of the mouth. A soft touch of a smile on your lips. Feel the shoulders as they melt into the floor. And watch as your chest rises and falls without you doing a thing. The life that lives inside your body if your mind wanders into thoughts, just pull your thoughts back. Each time you pull your thoughts back to center, you have practiced mindfulness, the training of our thoughts. Never judge them. Be happy that you've brought them back into the awareness of your body. As you breathe a little bit deeper now, start to gently wiggle the fingers. Tune into your feet and wriggle your toes. And gently waking up now. In your own time, roll over into recovery position. Enjoying a few deep breaths. And then push yourself up into a comfortable cross-legged position, eyes closed or cast down. And gently bring your hands to your heart. Press your thumbs lightly against your sternum and bow your head down. Acknowledge the power of the warrior inside yourself, the strength that you have in your body. Acknowledge and come back to it through the times that you need it in your day. From my heart to yours, thank you so much for practicing today, and namaste. Welcome back, beautiful yogis. Thank you so much for taking the time to practice with me today. I will see you next time on the mat.